Guilt and our values. Short video today as I just introduced the topic of our values, because I think we can really separate this idea into many aspects. When we look at guilt in accordance to our values, well, this could be anything where we feel inside we have done wrong, or maybe it's something we haven't done that is something that's wrong. Then we start to question it in our heads, and as it spins, we create a negative narrative. And as that narrative grows, we know that something fundamentally wrong is in that idea of thinking, and now we have to make adjustments. We question whether that guilt is based on those values and we have to go fix that situation, or is it our values that are changing? Now, on one end, when we have this situation that we gotta go fix because it is against our core values, our beliefs, well, growth is taking place as a person. This growth is that we are correcting what is occurring, and through it we are solidifying our values. It's a great place to be, especially when you get that guilt off your chest and you know you did right based on your values. Now, in the other end, however, it's that moment where you feel guilty about something, but you're having a moral issue of seeing how right or wrong you are on whatever is occurring. And your values are starting to get questioned, not by anybody else, but by you. And as this is happening, we start to see growth, because we're either going to solidify our values once again, or values will start to change in a new direction. When values are questioned, do not be afraid of change. Embrace it, because it's either going to solidify or make the changes needed for you to start improving for yourself, to solidify who you are, and finally find who you really have always wanted to be. Let's be realistic in this. We're starting to become aware, and becoming aware is incredibly challenging and difficult, because it's challenging everything that you went through growing up, in your experiences and what you were taught, what you learned to be right. Yet when you get older and you go through these experiences, now you got to question some things, and now the challenge really comes your way. A lot of times people will come with their dilemmas, and it's based on their values changing. That guilt that's eating them up inside, they're going, well, I know this is right, but I don't really have 100% certainty that it's right. I just know that from ever, I know this is wrong or it's right, and I need to fix it. How do I fix it? Questioning is critical, and when we're dealing with guilt, we want to ask ourselves several questions. One is, where are my values? Can I go through my values on any one situation and say to myself, this is the value, that number one way I should be thinking about it, or is there other things that I have not really looked at? Two is to really be centered with yourself. Check in with yourself and ask yourself, where is your integrity at on this one issue? Are your values aligned with that integrity? That feeling inside that you know this is right or wrong. And thirdly is to go execute on correcting whatever you have done. And if you really look at it from a perspective of whatever has occurred when it comes to our value-based system, well, the question is, why did you end up doing that? Well, it's because you didn't follow that integrity and your values and what you undoubtedly feel as right. It's very simple, but hard to execute. It's one of those things where we know sometimes we've done somebody wrong, and it's a fundamental of a value, not really anything else. So we just feel that we should have done more, we should have done less, we should have done whatever else that we know, but we didn't live up to that person that we know we could be. We weren't centered, we weren't one with ourselves, and we dropped the ball. It's usually those situations where we feel like we've let ourselves down more than the other person, or the other situation we've been in where we've let down whatever we should have done there. and it's letting ourselves down. In the next few videos, we'll look at this idea further, and of course, that guilt on assumptions, how our mind plays this negative narrative and what actually occurs. Hit a like and hit a subscribe if you like what you saw. Of course, leave a comment below if you have thought about this topic. What do you think about it, and what are some of the things you've done in the past to improve on your mindset when it comes to guilt and values?